Hi, my name's Dave Pendle, and I just want to thank Ava and the team at the Presencing Institute and the Educational Macro Hub for inviting me to give a short presentation last week on my proposed vertical literacy transformative community of practice. I've been experimenting and working on vertical literacy for the last year, and I feel it has enormous potential to help progressive educationists like yourself deepen your practice and have more confidence and connection when working in whichever educational field you're active. So firstly, I'm going to share my screen and just give you a brief introduction into to vertical literacy. And so vertical literacy is, vertical literacy is a concept for radical educational systems change, mostly in higher education, proposed by Otto Scharmer. And this is on his Field of the Future blog on Medium. So if you want an in-depth reading of that, it's very well worth going and studying that article to some great degree. So for this presentation, all I'm offering you is a very swift summary. So this is the diagram on that blog of not all, but most of the principles of vertical literacy. He also proposes there are 6 ways of being active in vertical literacy, and I'd say that these 12 points that are on this diagram relate to the portals or acupuncture points, any one of which, if was acted fully and wholeheartedly by any system, would be transformational on its own. So what is vertical literacy? In short, I call it the integration of head, heart and hand into higher education or any education. So most of our educational institutions focus on cognition. It focuses on transference of knowledge and information. And there's very little education for the heart and very little education for how to live. And then also how to apply what you learn in universities with the hand through action learning. So to iterate and reflect on what you've learned and then alter your learning in action also. So vertical literacy is an integration of the first person's perspective, the I, the we, and then also with the hand. So the third person perspective. So that is a very crude summary of vertical literacy. So my invitation to you is to join a transformative community of practice of where we will meet in to be decided amount of frequency, where we can grow ourselves into a system of influence. So becoming the new mainstream and making the old structures obsolete. So if change makers that are interested in awareness-based change connect, they're likely to exert more and more influence, particularly as many of our conventional systems are starting to break down, particularly in this COVID crisis. Also, we will convene the community of practice based on the principle that the success of an intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. And that would behove us to deliver our education in the way that we would wish to model and have integrity with the manner of education with which we wish to deliver and develop ourselves ongoingly. And then thirdly, the idea is to build a generative social field, a field of trust, of creativity, and of deep connection through which we transform ourselves, transform our social field, and grow into a more powerful system of influence. So what's next? I invite you to sign up via Sutra, which is in the link in this video. You can also volunteer to be part of the core group. We already have 3 or 4 people joining us, so a couple more would be very welcome. We plan to launch in January or February once the core group has met and decided roughly the shape of how we all convene. And the questions that many of the educators post in the chat that can't really be answered on the macro hub calls, which are really there for connection and inspiration, we can go into depth and run case clinics on, listening circles. We can do online empathy walks and use the many tools from the MOOC and explore questions and challenges and intentions. So if you're interested, do get in touch with me via Dave Pendle at smalltobigtalk.org, and I hope to hear back from you and grow our influence as educators across the world. Thank you very much.